One thing that a lot of players don't know about Molotovs is the fact that once this vertical flame goes away, that's when you actually take no damage when you're running. So imagine there's a Molotov down. All you really have to do is focus on this flame right here. As soon as that flame goes away, I can then run. Even if there's flames, I will not take any damage from those little flames. A lot of players don't know this, and you're actually going to be able to exploit people when they're not going to be really expecting you for about that half a second. Many people don't know this, but it's actually better to throw a grenade, a smoke grenade, on top of a ledge and let it bleed down to use the full smoke effect. To explain this, I can go into this corner right here and throw a connector smoke, which goes, if I look at the left side of the top of this tree, all the way to the power line and jump throw. Instead of throwing a smoke inside of the connector, you'll notice that this smoke goes on top of the ledge right here and instantly bleeds down. This means that you're not throwing a smoke that's going to come out too far and allow people to kind of lurk out. This is a perfect smoke. You can also extend this concept to the truck. If I get into this corner right here and look at the bottom of this line right here and then just jump throw, the smoke's going to land on top of this square right here and completely bleed down. If you throw it in a different position, a little bit off to the right, it's even going to do something weirder. The smoke's going to bounce in the same place, but it's going to bounce on top of this box and bleed so it covers this corner as well. Another really unique thing about this game is the fact that when you throw an HE grenade, it has a very clear ticking sound when you hit somebody and actually deal damage. That means that if somebody's deep B apps like this and you're a solo B player and you want to get some info, all you really have to do is throw an HE grenade and you're going to clearly hear if you've hit somebody, and then you can be worried about defending the site. So imagine somebody's there and all you really have to do is rethrow your grenade. You'll hear that it's clear that you've just hit somebody, and you can actually hear it from any position, even back here, pretty clearly. So imagine I'm a solo player and I get into kind of this position right here, look to the left of this mark, and then run until my crosshair kind of meets the bottom of this arch. This is just a deep nade to go towards the back of apps like this. And you'll notice that it hit the person and killed them there just because of low HP, but if a person was full HP, you'd clearly hear the person getting hit, and you'd know exactly where the player is, even without seeing them. A cool thing about HE grenades in this game is that you can actually throw them outside of a room, or like past a wall, and it's still going to interact with the smoke itself. If you throw a grenade like this, you'll notice that it actually blows away the smoke despite being outside of the actual connector. So there's tons of situations in game that you can kind of utilize this. So imagine you want to push out of this monster tunnel on the T side, and there's somebody that's smoked off the tunnel from whatever position like this. If you have a player that you've kind of positioned right there, you can throw an HE grenade for them by getting on top of this position right here, looking at the bottom right of the sandbags like this, and then just jump throwing. The grenade deals no damage to this player, yet this player can still see and actually get the entry potentially on a player that's inside of this B site. In CS2, one thing I've ran into is the fact that the actual grenades that are dropped on the ground are a different size than the ones that you actually throw. I saw this online, and if you see here, I'm going to throw a flashbang right beside a flashbang. Look at how much bigger the flashbang actually is relative to the ones that are on the ground. I'm not sure if this is intentional, but I'm sure that there's some sort of reason for this. One thing that a lot of people don't know about decoys in this game is the fact that if you throw a smoke, you can actually use decoys to your benefit. If you have an automatic gun in your hands, you can grab your decoy and throw it inside of the smoke. The smoke actually makes it so it looks like there's a player inside, and even shows a little bit of tracers and muzzle flares. So this can really confuse players that don't really know about this fact. In this game, Molotovs are really important just because of how big they actually spread. They'll spread vertically, but they'll also spread horizontally to distances that you probably didn't even really know. If I'm going to Molotov this default position, I don't really even have to throw the molly onto the actual default like this. What I can actually do is get onto the right side of this kind of door frame right here, look in the middle of this bar right here, or even the top of it, and then just throw my Molotov. You'll notice that the Molotov actually spreads on all of the sides of default, even though I threw it on the roof. Certain positions are better at explaining just how big the Molotovs are in this game, and one of them is this bedroom position. If I'm a CT player and I really just want to get control of this apps or just alleviate a little bit of pressure, all I really have to do is get into a position like this and look in the middle of this lantern or this lamp and then just regular throw. This Molotov spreads through the entire bedroom right here, but then also spreads down here for some reason, just showing how big the Molotovs are in this game. This fact might be a little bit silly, but you can actually bind it so that every single time you pull out any sort of PC utility, you actually inspect it. This kind of gives your game a little bit of flair and makes it so you're a little bit interesting to watch. Which one was your favorite fact, and how many of these facts did you actually know?